Hello my friends, it's Dean with AirplaneOwnerMaintenance.com. Today we are going to cut open an oil filter that's been removed from an airplane engine. And as you may know, the reason we're going to cut this filter open is because we want to make sure that there is not an excessive amount of any kind of metal or debris inside that filter that would require further engine maintenance. So we have the filter clamped in the vise, and there are various kinds of tools that can be used for this task. One is this old clunky type of oil filter cutting tool that I no longer use anymore because I do not like how it works. It is very cumbersome and just in my opinion takes too long and those kinds of things. There have been other tools developed in recent years that work much better. So the one that we have is this style right here. This is a much simpler tool because it does not require threading the fitting into the filter. It simply goes over top of the filter. So we have backed this fitting out enough to lay the cutter on top of the filter, and then all we're going to do is tighten the cutting wheel down a bit, and it's just like cutting a large piece of pipe. One of the big mistakes I see people making with these is they try to crank too hard on the cutting wheel, and then when you try to go around and force it, it can break the cutting wheel. So we're just going to go a little bit at a time, around, turn it slightly to the right, take another turn, one more little bit, around again, another little bit, and in a few rounds it just pops right off with no problem. Then all we have to do is back the cutting wheel off. Then the top becomes trash, and we have been nice and easy and gentle on that cutting wheel, and it can be used for many more filters. At this point, we're going to lift the filter element out of the can. And at this point, what I typically do is find the pleat where the metal seam is located, so I have that for a reference, and I'm just going to pull the pleats apart and take a look for any shiny specks of metal, any excessive carbon, and things like that. I'm not seeing any at all. So I can tell by a quick look that this filter is in good shape. It has done a good job of filtering the engine oil, and this engine is not having any significant problems that are showing up in this filter. Now it's also a good idea to take a sharp knife and cut the filter element off of the filter, spread it out to take a better look. But this cursory look tells me that there are no issues going on with this filter. So after we see this, we can install a new filter on that engine, and it should be good to go until the next oil change. So as we look at these filters, one thing to keep in mind is that they filter from the outside in. So any debris and metal flakes and things will be collected in the outside of this filter element. So they are readily visible on the outside. Years ago, we had a Piper Seneca here at Classic Aviation, and there were specks in the filter that showed up very, very, very noticeably. And it turned out that there was a valve guide in one of the cylinders that was really, really worn, and we had to send that cylinder out for repair. So this is an essential thing that is part of changing the oil in an airplane engine. Thank you for watching the video. I invite you to stop by AirplaneOwnerMaintenance.com and also subscribe to the podcast in iTunes. Thank you so much, my friends.